There are three types of text field. There is a static text. That means I'm in charge and it's not going to change. Then there's the custom text, and that's where I've written something here, but I'm going to give my team or myself the option of overwriting it. And then the final type is dynamic text, and that can't be customized. You'll see this go away when I do it. In order to call dynamic content, this convention is going to be true for pretty much any of the field types. You hit the equal sign. As soon as I hit the equal sign, then I have a menu of all of my options. And you can see here I can choose from student information, like first name, last name, combination of the first and last, student ID. Position field is for staff. If I had entered a birthday or anything in the other field, I can call it here. Class name, class teacher, which remember is a function of the class. So you can edit the teacher by editing the class. Grade, groups, that can be more than one. Then I can call school information, like school name 1. In my case, it's Lion Pride. School name 2, elementary school. Or my full school name, which is Lion Pride Elementary School. Or my school principal. So if I'm calling dynamic content, like let's call the full school name, then that custom checkbox went away. And you can see here the short code for that bit of information. Now, something you can do, but it's pretty rare, is combine text with dynamic text. So let's say, for example, that this is going to be a signature line, and I'm going to have my principal's name and title. And I can do something like this: principal, colon, equals, principal. Let's say, and here's a more common scenario, let's say I'm going to input a teacher name or a class name into an ID. So since I'm making a certificate, I might put the teacher information. So I'd say teacher is teacher. Now I can pick a student in order to see a sample teacher. So let's pick Allie, and this is showing that teacher's name. If I pick a different preview, then I'll see the different teacher. The next bit of information here is the font size. So this works just like any other word processing. So the bigger the number, the bigger the font, as long as it fits in your container. And then this is the color of the font. So I can choose, anytime I have a color option, I can choose from my school colors. So it'll dynamically populate, or I can punch in a custom value. So let's say I want to make this red, then I can pick red. If I wanted to make it green, I can pick green. This group of arrows allows me to just say where the font will sit in the container. So right now it's perfectly centered. Let's say I wanted something right hand justified, I could do that. Left hand justified there. I very rarely use anything on the top or the bottom row. And the reason is some web fonts might clip font that goes below it. So let's say instead of the word teacher, maybe I have the word principal. And it's got these lowercase p's. So different fonts might treat that differently. So it's possible, even though this is previewing okay here, that when it gets rendered and looked at on the on the actual order, it might just clip that. So usually to play it safe, I stick to the center of the zone. And as we've looked at already a little bit here, you have font type, and that's our last thing to pick from. So you can choose different fonts, and then you can preview those fonts. And decide what you want to go with. Quick note about text fields, we have a barcode font also. So if I'm using a barcode font, then I'm going to want to make sure this is a number. So I can either type something in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here in my preview, it's going to show as the number, but when it renders out, it will be a barcode. Or I could call like a student ID. And this will get converted into a barcode when I render the image. But for the most part, we'll use this as text. So let's make it the honor roll. That's how you use the text field.